Well, it's Friday morning and vanity's on my mind, so I'm training the beach muscles, pairing the incline bench press for higher reps, 8 to 10 reps, with the wide pull-up, anywhere from 6 to 8 reps. And as I always say, if you train a front, you've got to train a back, antagonistic muscle groups, in order to avoid imbalance. Now, the wide pull-up is harder than a chin-up because it's mechanically disadvantaged because you've got a bit less bicep involvement, aiming for 6 to 8 reps. But it's 7:30 AM, and on the deck this morning is 11 circuits, that's right, 11 circuits of the Innsbruck flat course. It's the Matando Corpo racing kind of event. And Gus Borman, Goose, who's also racing with me, informs me it's one of the hardest races there is. Well, we'll see. Quick check of the weather here. And basically, I'm looking to continue to build my top end power. And the leg snapper and the little kind of kicker after it hopefully will do just that, aiming for about 400 watts on each of the 11, plus obviously, I don't know, zone 3, zone 4 in between. A tall order, I reckon, but we'll see how we go. So definitely, I got them out last night. Definitely time to carb up. Still got a bit. I don't often use this. This is only for special occasions. My last remaining bodybuilding supplement. It's the branched chain cyclic dextrin. Obviously fusing it with the amino acids and cold coffee. So there we have it. Purest Pink, 60 grams of branched chain cyclic dextrin, a really fast digesting carbohydrate because its molecule is a little bit smaller than a typical sugar. Therefore, it's super easy to digest and gets into the muscles quickly to replenish glycogen as it gets run down during the race. Cheers. I do love that. It is artificially sweetened, this one, but kiwi strawberry, very good indeed. So I thought it might be interesting to have a quick post-race weigh-in, and I was 63 kilograms before the event, 62.5 after, and that's notwithstanding the fact that I took on plenty of carbs and water both pre and during a race. I guess that's what 10 times the leg snap at 89 kilometers of racing full gas is going to do for you. And thank you all very much for all the support in the live stream. It made a massive, massive difference as always. Really enjoyed racing, Gus. Congratulations on the P5, incredible result. You're coming back super strong, sir. Super happy with my own result, 13. About 2 hours, 2 minutes for the race. Average power, 256 watts. That's a PB for me, just shy of 4.1 watts a kilogram, and normalized 282, so just shy of 4.5 watts a kilogram. So super happy with that, and clearly Ed's training methods are paying off handsomely. Really don't know where that good legs day has come from. Wasn't feeling amazing ahead of the event, but I took on loads of carbs yesterday, plenty of carbs as you saw beforehand, and I ingested about another 60 grams of fast digesting carbs during the race itself. So now time to properly carb up with the bait product. Well, today's race, 2 hours, 2 minutes, racked up a TSS of 197. And that's put a big strain on the body. The immune system is going to be compromised, but also the stress that's caused will ultimately create an adaptation, provided I get the recovery right, including a rest day tomorrow to lock in the gains. There's always a tab to pay when you've had a big stress on the body after any kind of training or a race, and so boosting the immune system and blood health with the Ultimate Greens, they've been ingested. A little bit of a mess has been made there, don't worry, I'll get all that cleaned up. I also want to get rid of all the cortisol and adrenaline, and so I've been using this Phill Rich's vitamin C product. This is the cherry flavoured one, it's really, really nice. The vitamin C helps get rid of all the cortisol and adrenaline that has been kind of surging around the body. I do also eat plenty of fruit, and I'll have my berries and apples and all that kind of stuff later, but I've been quite enjoying this supplement, and the cherry is super nice. We'll then move on to the protein, because you've got to repair the muscle damage, deliver amino acids, help rebuild the muscles, hopefully a little bit more powerful than before the race began, especially if I lock in a rest day tomorrow in order to kind of help that process of recuperation and recovery. And then we're going to move on to my favourite bit of the post-ride recovery, the carbohydrates. So muscle repair is now underway. 30 grams of protein has been ingested. And moving on to the carbohydrate source of the day. It's a Tiger baguette from Tesco's. It's going to go with some very special jam, more of that in just a second, but I can't actually get into the baguette. Look, you may be able to see here, it says twist and pull. I've been kind of grappling with it for about, a frustrating 60 seconds ahead of filming this, but it just won't open. I'm going to have to get the scissors out and report back in just a second. Twist and pull indeed. Anyway, here we go, 1 second. Just going to unveil my word. Would you look at that? Now, on the deck, very special blackcurrant jam, courtesy of Queen of Minehead, Natalie, Nat's mum. Now, her rhubarb jam was, well, epic, sensational. Words literally fail me. Super looking forward to the blackcurrant. Taste test. A nice generous serving. Looks good. Nat's mum, the maestro, incredible. Really, really phenomenal. And I'm guessing I have to eat this one or consume this one within a month of opening. It's not going to be a problem. There's other carbohydrates on the deck. Jen and I are probably going to get a meal out tonight. And as I say, tomorrow is going to be a full rest day to lock in the progression and the gains. Monday morning. But what a beautiful one. Well, personally, I'm quite a big fan of the British daylight saving. Get an extra hour in the morning extends the window of opportunity for an outdoors training, if you train in the morning, that is. Anyway, on the deck this morning, Ed's breakaway drills. 1 minute at 120 to 135% of FTP, straight into 2 minutes at about FTP, i.e. circa 290 watts for me. Repeat 6 times, 2 minutes recovery between each. Just gonna get on and do it.
So following on from Saturday's 10 times leg snapper race, Sunday had been a full day of R&R for me. So this was a really nice way to start the week, with a further hard training plan for Wednesday. Now Ed's breakaway simulation is basically a harder version of 3 times 3 minutes repeated twice. But fear not, the initial 1 minute at 360 to 420 watts really primes the body for the second 2 minutes, such that as you drop the intensity back down to 95 to 105% of FTP, the body, well, it's almost grateful for only having to work at upper threshold. I think this relates to the nervous system going into DEFCON 1 in that first 60 seconds, i.e. it's anticipating an extended period in the red. Now the key here is to transition back down from what was 130 to 140% of FTP into upper threshold gradually. You want to bleed the power down if possible, stabilise and then drive. And in doing so, you're rewarded with more capacity to produce power than Ed prescribed. So typically I found that in the second 2 minutes, I was in the 103 to 108% of FTP for all 6 blocks, always seeking to ramp the power back to the 315 watt level.
London in autumn. It may not be Exmoor, but it's pretty darn good, eh? And wowee, that was one exhilarating training. It's a long time since I've done one of Ed's breakaway drills, but super, super difficult. I definitely stayed in, or indeed slightly above, the power range throughout. And I used a little hill, you know, the little kicker, I guess, on the inner circle to launch my 1 minute sprint, and I kind of kept in 120% to basically 140% of FTP, i.e. 360 to 420 watts, and then settled into kind of, I don't know, 95% to 105% of FTP, i.e. I guess 280 to, I don't know, 315 watts, so a little bit above what it set. So super happy with that. I did, however, have to take 2.5 minutes recovery between each rather than 2 minutes. I did that in order to really launch a sprint just around here each time on this nice little incline, and really to double down on the quality of each effort, i.e. really focus on the big power. So super happy with that. As ever, the training was fasted on just the amino acids and cold coffee, plenty of water, but I ate tons of carbs yesterday. We had a lovely Indian curry, plenty of rice, and also naan bread. So I was carved up. Time to get home, get on with work, and some post-ride nutrition.